I have never felt so complimented before. Well, I've never felt so seen either. So I just fucking love Celine. I have a love for Celine that no one else will ever. It's like it's a love bank specifically for Celine. Anyways, I was pretty much telling her that my like attraction, like being attracted to boys, was awakened through Aragorn. Wait. Okay, so basically, I'm like, yo, dude, like, this was my awakening for men. Like, Aragorn was my awakening, also Peter Pan. We went on to talk about that. And then I was like, and low-key, this Arwen, and I had to tell, like, I was quoting Celine because she didn't know the character. I was like, the elf girl is, like, who was my awakening for women. She's like, oh my God, yes, my first thought was she reminded me of you. I was like, that's, like, the highest compliment I could have ever seen. I'm not, ever. Like, if there was nothing that you could have told me that would have, like, my ego is huge now, okay? And she's like, wait. I was like, wait, this is, like, the nicest thing you ever told me. She's like, really, Jody? Oh, my God, it was my first thought. I just didn't want to say anything, you know, because I didn't want to compare you if you didn't like her. But, like, her essence reminded me of you. Like, this girl's Jody. She reminds me of Jody a lot. And then I was like, oh, that's John. John's Aragorn. That's cute. Anyways, I'm living in my best life. I'm living in my best reality. This is my greatest timeline. NFSJ, thank you for the gifted sub. Sabra, thank you for the 44. Canary, thank you for the 6. Welcome back. You reminded me of Arwen in your fairy outfit. That's the greatest thing I've ever heard, ever. You guys should have been Aragorn or Arwen for Halloween. Okay, that's funny because after I saw the movie, I was like, shit, this is a lost opportunity. But if I was to do Arwen and Aragorn, I would want to do it justice. Like I would actually want to get a commission. Like I would not do that lightly. I would basically get that commissioned. I would go all out. I would have an entire fucking photo shoot for that. So maybe next year, you know? You should read the Lord of the Rings books. Bro, no, I mean, you can't, no. We've all tried. Every Lord of the Rings book, or every Lord of the Rings fan has tried, okay? You know, I'm sure the books are good, as you know, obviously they have, you know, withstood the tests of time. That shit is lengthy, okay? Basically, from the beginning of the story to the time that they leave the Shire is about this much of the book. I love reading. Don't get me wrong. I read a book a day. If you know me by now, you know I read basically a book a day. If I am not doing anything else. That is the lengthiest shit of my life. And I did not get very far. And I was like, holy fuck, you are like, we're really just walking down a path and it's taking you 7 chapters. You know what? Audiobook, not a bad idea. I think if I was to give it another shot, audiobook would be the way to go. But, yeah. I cannot physically read a book a day. You would be surprised. You'd be surprised. Basically, if I wake up and I start my day with a book, I will generally finish it by the time I go to bed, depending on how long it is. Like 300-page book, I'm done. I'm done by the end of the day. 600-page book, it's probably taking me a nice 12 hours. Maybe less. I don't know. I don't actually really like audiobooks that much unless I'm like driving or commuting, but I don't really commute that much anymore because I work from home for obvious reasons. But yeah, I basically just read. I like reading. I like the act of reading. Like I don't love the act of listening to books. So my attention span was destroyed from a young age. I've been easing into it reading slowly. Great. This thing that I heard a while ago was if you have a hard time getting into reading, pick up a book that was recommended to your age group of when you stopped reading or when you like fell out of love of reading. So basically, like, let's say you stopped reading in 6th grade, read Harry Potter kind of thing.
Been feeling down lately and I watched your 2020 highlights vid and that shit made me laugh. You and John have the best humor. Have a good day, Jody. Less than
Those
3.
are good times. Those are good times to look back on. Thank you for the 500. I hope you're doing all right. I'm currently hooked on Blood and Ash because of you. Thank you. Okay, low key though, Blood and Ash started to irritate me. I don't know how far you are into the book, but basically, I think this happens to a lot of fantasy reads. Is the world building's insane, the plot is so fucking good, and then the dialogue is womp womp, and I literally just skip past it. I'm like, I don't know. It's like sometimes the dialogue just gets so cringe, and I don't say that lightly. Like, I don't generally just throw out the word cringe, but it does. It just gets cringe, and I'm like, bro. Or sometimes like you can totally tell that the author is like living out her fantasy through her characters, and I'm like, okay, I get it, I fucking get it, you know. But like, really, the same thing three times in a row, 4? Wow, how many times are we gonna talk about this? It's like, From Blood and Ash is one of them. But if you love From Blood and Ash, you will love A Shadow and Ember. I think that's what it's called. Hold on, give me a second. Let me check. So Shadow and Ember is a sister book to From Blood and Ash. That book feels like she took all of her mistakes from Blood and Ash and wrote a way better book. But yeah, would recommend from A Shadow and Ember. What do you think about dropping? I dropped so many books. Are you shitting me? I dropped so many books. And you know why? Because TikTok cannot be fucking trusted. You motherfuckers be recommending anything. God, what did I just read? I don't know how they ended up my TikTok. It's like I just blindly trust people on my For You page. And I need to stop. My trust, it's gone. Okay? What did I just fucking read? Oh, God. What is it? Something Viper. It's literally just sex. It's just a sex book. I don't remember. I dropped that shit. I was like, I really gave it a chance, and I can't remember what it was called. Den of Vipers. But okay, I think that could be a good book if you literally just want to read sex. But the way that it was advertised, the way that it was advertised to me on my For You page. They lied. Such a strong female main character who knows what she wants and goes after it. She doesn't take shit from anybody. Such an interesting story about the inner workings of the city and the whatever. Lies. It's just sex. Which, like I said, if you want to read just sex, it's a lot of sex. Also, well, it's not vanilla sex. Very, very kinky sex. And also a lot of it wasn't anything. Some of the shit, like stabbing and fire, I'm not really into. So, anyways, but yeah, I was like, holy shit, man, this is bad. Drop that book. I have so many books that I've dropped, but I don't even remember the names of them because I dropped them, you know? Or I will read so many books. Like I said, I can read a lot of books like in a very short amount of time. I will read a lot of books in a short amount of time, and I generally I don't read good books often. Good books are so hard to come by. I think that people who are like pretty are reading on average like a lot. You read a lot. It's kind of like shit TV, okay? There's a lot of shit TV, but there's good TV. You just it's comes and goes. And so because most of them are bad, I don't remember the names of them. I don't. I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I thought it started off really strong, and I actually was like, the ending was okay. Me. But people loved that book. I didn't love it. I thought it was like 3.7, I guess, if I remember correctly. Okay, my other problem is basically I will put down a book and I've forgotten it. All I remember is how it made me feel, for the most part. Or if there's some whack shit, like in Verity. That was some whack shit. Verity was whack. Verity started off so strong, and I was like, shit, okay. Colleen Hoover, all right. I might have judged you too soon with It Ends With Us. And I've already told you, that one was whack. I actually just got off the phone with my mother about that book. You know what I thought was mid? Poppy War series. You know, I've heard of it, haven't started it. I was talking to my mom. My mom loves reading. A book my mom recommended to me that she says I should listen to is Project Hail Mary, which is the same person who wrote Mars, I think. Anyways, my mom and I have a book Rex Discord now, and we were talking about bad books. I literally on the phone with her yesterday was talking about bad books, and I was like, Verity, Verity. And I told her about the scene where the girl, okay, let me give you context. I'm sure I've already talked about this, but it pisses me off. Pisses me off. If you are going to read Verity, you know what? You fucking should, because it's an experience. And I don't want to take that away from you. But I'm going to be talking about spoilers right now. My hand is up. As long as my hand is up, I will be talking about spoilers. This girl is practically flirting and dating this man. This man has a vegetable of a wife. Okay? Very new vegetable. Just recently got into a car accident and is vegetable. Okay? There's loose ends everywhere. All right? And throughout the book, it's kind of like, ooh, maybe the wife isn't a vegetable. Oh, maybe she's kind of awake. Anyways, they end up crossing every single fucking line ever that could ever be crossed, okay, during all the, ooh, is she a vegetable or not? They end up having sex. And I'm actually cringing. Basically, they have sex and she sees the wife on the staircase staring at her having sex with her husband. And she's like, oh my God, I can't have sex anymore. I saw your wife just saw us. And he's like, no, my wife's a vegetable. I don't know what you're talking about. They end up having actual sex. Like they were going, you know, doing some frisky stuff. Then they end up having sex. In her head, she's thinking, oh God, this is kind of crazy. Oh my God, what if she's, no, it's okay. I just love him. This is crazy, but like, oh, whatever. They don't have a condom. He comes in her. He then leaves the room. He's like, oh, I shouldn't be here. I have a son. I need to like I need to go tuck him into bed or something. Okay, whatever. Leaves the room. She's like, oh, bye-bye. Oh, but he's so dreamy and I love him. It would be such a crazy thing if I got pregnant. Puts a pillow under her hips and basically tries to have gravity on her side in order to get pregnant and scoops up the remaining cum and puts it in her vagina. She doesn't have a son. He has a son. That's what I'm saying. Everything. Every line was crossed in this book. Every line. He had a fucking son. He had a son. The son knows that mommy's awake. Son knows that mommy not vegetable. Do you not think that he's fucked up? And in the meantime, main character's like, he'll be okay. I'll love him. I'm like, Jesus. Anyways, I'm done. Fucked up. It's a fucked up book. It's stupid. And I'm like, what? Anyways, that was also recommended to me on my For You page. I can't trust nobody. Can't trust nobody. This is a more fucked up version of Gone Girl. Whoa. Gone Girl was fire. Gone Girl is one of my favorite books. Gone Girl was so fucking good. Gone Girl was so good. If you have not read Gone Girl, read it. If you have not seen Gone Girl, read Gone Girl first. I read Gone Girl, and then years later the movie came out, and like the movie does not do it justice. The movie's good, does not do it. The book is so fucking good. I fucking loved it, but also read it 7 years ago or something, so I don't know if it's still good. Like, but when I read it, I loved it. God, it was so good. That is a book I actually always recommend to people because it was so good. What is Gone Girl about? A couple, the wife goes missing. You just should read it. It was so good. Like, I think it was so good. You can't explain it like that. It's a mystery. I think that's all I can say. I think it's really fucking good. Another book that I have recommended to people is Song of Achilles. So good. Song of Achilles is so good, bro. I cried for years. I literally cried for years over that book. Those are the two books I can recommend. Yeah, Song of Achilles was great. You might not like it. Like, I don't think that book's for everybody, but if it's for you, then you'll love it. But if you won't like it, then you don't like it. But it's like, I think it's like a 50-50. Trin, thank you for the 27. You make everything so interesting. I love that you find joy in so many things in life. Seeing things from your perspective helps bring out the best in you. Yo, thank you. That was such a kind word. That was such a compliment. No, Sean didn't read it. I don't think it was for Sean. But Peter read it, and Peter fucking loved it. So, I can't trust TikTok. They lie. They lie to me. They lie. Marquito, thank you for the 46. Fatal, thank you for the 19. Chevy, thank you for the 3. Saxman, thank you for the Prime. Medusasaurus, thank you for the 11. Nat Gigi, thank you for the tier 1. It's Poji, thank you for the 13. Jolly, thank you for the Prime. Thank you so much. Anybody, thank you for the 4. Welcome back. Albert, thank you for the 2. LaRocha, thank you for the 37. Johnny Flopsy, thank you for the tier 1. Where am I? guess if they give it the 29. I actually liked ACOTAR. Well, okay. Basically, I loved the second book of ACOTAR. I liked the first book. I loved the second. Third and fourth, I don't even remember. So, I mean, take that as you will. You know? Is the Song of Achilles the Iliad the horny version? I don't know if you would call it the horny version. I don't think that I would call it. It's good, honestly. You should just read it. But I liked ACOTAR a lot. I think the world building was so fun. Like, being in that world was just, like, magical. I liked the main character, I think, for the most part. I liked the second, like, the leading characters. I'm pretty sure God, it's been a long time since I read it, so I don't actually remember. I called it quite crude, but that's what I've heard. I am a slut, I think. So maybe my yeah, I didn't find it to be that horny. So I don't really know. I mean, read Den of Vipers. That shit's bad. But that, I was like, wow, that's actually the spiciest book I've ever read. I didn't finish it because it was bad. But, so. Sex,
Hi
sure,
Jody, love how careful you are. Try to more like that.
Huh? I need more horny books to read. I mean, there's plenty of horny books. There's just not plenty of good horny books. What did I just read? God, it was literally just a 50 Shades of Grey, but... Oh, what was it called? I bet you I could find this. I'm just going to look at a book like 50 Shades of Grey. I read 50 Shades of Grey in high school with one of my friends who had a book club, and that I don't remember it being very... Oh! Bared to You by Sylvia Day. Anyone remember that one? Or know of it? I just read that. I think it was the first book is it's like whatever. It's actually just 50 Shades of Grey. Basically, very powerful man works or basically owns this building. She works there. Boom. The first book I think was good, and then I picked up the second book, and I was like, this is getting repetitive. So I don't. Basically, series are hard. Have you ever read It Ends With Us? If so, what do you think? You're not gonna like. I hated it. It was entertaining, but I would never recommend it to anyone. But I was entertained. I finished it. I thought it was a little stupid at times. I just do not like Colleen Hoover. I'm not picking up another Colleen Hoover book. Yeah. Yep. But I was entertained. So it's hard because like I would give that book a 2 stars, but I'm entertained. So it's like really what up to you, you know? That's actually how I feel about Bear with what did I just say by Sylvia Day? Whatever. That one, actually, I feel very similarly. Basically, romanticizing terrible trauma and stuff. I don't know. Weird. It's just weird. And also, I don't understand what it is about these. There's so many tropes where it's like bad boy who like is controlling, like, and I think they try to make it like dom sub kind of like outside of the bedroom thing, but it's like unhealthy. Like, you wouldn't actually want this. Like, they track you, they basically control every part of your life. You are no longer allowed to ride in your own car. You have a chauffeur. Like, it's like too much, and I think that they romanticize it, and I'm like, that sounds like it fucking sucks, man. That sounds like it fucking sucks. So I forgot that they were supposed to be adults. I thought they were high schoolers at some point. I didn't like it. I was entertained, but I wouldn't recommend it, like I said. Banjovi, thank you for the 3. Cosmic, thank you for the 20. Load